So what do the messenger Telegram, the country Venezuela, and the strip club in Las Vegas have in common? The answer is ICO. In early 2016, this crowdfunding-like way of raising money became both very important and very controversial. Telegram raised $1.7 billion. The country Venezuela raised $5 billion alone with the cryptocurrency Petro. The strip club only 50 million. Still 50 million. At the same time, almost all big advertising platforms, Google, Facebook, Snapchat, banned advertising for ICOs because a huge vast amount of fraud, Ponzi schemes, and the absence of any protection for investors. Our next speaker is an industry veteran combining 20 years of experience in marketing with 10 years experience in the gaming industry. He's the co-founder of Stryking, a football gaming company, and he will take us on a journey how they prepared and executed an ICO and what learnings they gathered on the way. Please welcome on stage Christian Szymanski from Stryking.
Well, hello everyone. Yeah, my name is Christian Szymanski. I'm the co-founder and COO of Stryking Entertainment. And I will tell you why we decided to go for an ICO, what you have to keep in mind when doing it, and in the end, why we failed, because we weren't able to reach our soft cap. But I will tell you that a little later. But before I start, I would just get an idea what the knowledge in the crowd is about ICO. So could you please raise a hand who has a rough idea what an ICO is? Okay. Who knows how an ICO actually works? Okay, getting less. Who has participated in an ICO? Who has invested? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, good split. Yeah, before I go into details about the ICO, I want to give you a quick overview what we as Stryking actually do, because the product is key to the ICO. So our product is called Football Stars, and as Christian said, it's a football gaming platform. It's a fantasy football game. Fantasy football games work in a way that you have to pick lineups from the real player, and depending on how good they play in the real matches, you get points for it. So the challenge could be pick 5 players of tonight's match of Frankfurt against Limassol, I think it is. Then you have to think which players might perform well in the match. And after the match, we import the real data of the match, the performance data of each player. So player A, he has played 50 passes and 25 got to his teammates and 25 got lost. He had 20 duels and so on. And from this, we calculate a performance index, how well the player actually played in the match. So it's a game for football fans. It's a bit like a prediction game, but a bit more complex. So you have to be into football in order to play this game. We have launched this game 2 years ago. It's a free-to-play fantasy sports game. We have the official Bundesliga license, so we are allowed to use all the original player pictures and all the logos of the clubs. Then we use the data of all the European top leagues, like the Premier League, like La Liga in Spain, the Champions League, the European League. So we cover most of the popular leagues in Europe. One important thing is that the product is already white label ready. So we have a second version of the game out, which we built for a customer, Sport Digital. It's a digital TV station. They show live football, but they show not the top tier leagues, but leagues like the Dutch league, like the Portuguese league, like the Chinese league. We build a product for them that covers their content and their players. And then we launched another game mode, the challenge mode. It's the daily fantasy mode that is really big in America. There are 2 unicorns, FanDuel and DraftKings, who raised a lot of money through this. Yeah, so this is the underlying product. ICO, what actually is an ICO? If you roughly describe it, oh, the graphic at the bottom is a bit, you could say it's blockchain meets crowdfunding. It works in a way that a company creates a cryptocurrency and sells it to investors. Our cryptocurrency was called Strikes. You can see it on the top left. That is the token we created. And then this currency has a utility in your product or in your company. So if you think about a game, a lot of games offer virtual currency, free-to-play games. So let's call it gold. So the players, they can buy gold in the game and then can use it to unlock features and to do stuff with it. The cryptocurrency works in a similar way, but has many advantages about gold. Because if you think about the example with gold again, so you use it to unlock features, and you get rewarded with gold, but then again, you can only use the gold within the game. So it has no external value to the users to earn something. A cryptocurrency, on the other hand, has an external value because it can be traded, it can be sold. And that is a big advantage because then you can reward your users with something that they really can use and which really has a value to them. When you start an ICO, you have to consider a few things. So what actually is not that good visible on the bottom is you have a huge amount of tokens. In our case, it was about 1 billion tokens. And you start by selling a split of this to the investors. In our case, it was 40% of the tokens. You set a price for the token, and you set a maximum amount that you want to achieve with the ICO. In our case, it was $20 million US. So if all the tokens would have been sold, we would have gained $20 million US. And then you have a soft cap, which is a minimum amount that you need to reach in order to execute the ICO. So if you don't reach this $4 million US, the ICO will not take place, and you pay back all the investors that have invested in the ICO. To give you an idea how the Strikes token should work with our product, I will show a video that explains the concept behind this.
Fantasy sports turns the passion supporters feel for their sport into online engagement. And with our new Strikes, we present you a new way to benefit from this passion. In Football Stars, a thrilling and diversified gaming experience on web and mobile, football fans can play challenges by picking their dream team of real players from dozens of upcoming real matches from all of the top European leagues every day. Once the real-life game has been played, the results are calculated based on actual players' real-life performance data. Whoever has the combination of players with the best stats wins. A white-label partnership with the German digital pay TV station Sport Digital is live with competitions like the Chinese Super League, Japanese J-League, and many more. To further enhance Football Stars' platform, Strikes, a new cryptocurrency token, will be introduced. The token will be used to reward users who actively contribute to the growth of the platform by generating their own challenges, bringing in new users, and creating exciting content. The users can also spend Strikes to enter the VIP club, get early access to new features, or see exclusive content. We will team up with many more partners who will also offer a great experience for football fans to further distribute the token. All of this will help to extend Football Stars into a constantly growing community-driven platform for football fans around the globe, and thus increase the demand for the token. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Join us now. Strikes.io.
Okay, so generally speaking, we wanted to create an incentive reward scheme that in which we reward users for contributing to our platform. This could happen by creating game content. This could happen by creating additional content, like writing an article about this, the favorite team of the user. It could be that they actually help us with the development, so that we have a feature, a defined feature where we say this needs to be developed, and someone else is doing the bug hunting for us. So we wanted to open up the platform step by step and make it completely user-driven. And for this, we wanted to create the ICO. So how does an ICO work in detail? And that is actually only a general overview. So it took us, or generally speaking, you can divide it in 3 phases. First phase is the preparation phase, then you announce the ICO, then you start with private sales and pre-sales, and at some point you start the public sale where the whole community can buy into the token. The very first thing you have to do is to write a white paper. This is the basic idea. Normally it's about 20 to 50 pages long. Funnily, I had a sport accident, and I was sitting at home when I started writing the white paper, and it reminded me of my university time. So it was like a second master thesis for me, writing this white paper. It took ages, it had so many iterations, and it's really complex to get it all together in a white paper. So it's about the concept. You introduce a team, the advisors, you define the tokenomics, you have a technical roadmap in it, you have a marketing roadmap in it. So it's about the whole project, how you want to roll it out. Then you need to prepare a communication concept because there are a lot of marketing efforts behind this. And one very important thing is the legal counsel, because at the moment there's no clear regulation for ICOs. And it depends from country to country. So one of the first things you have to define is where should your company be based doing an ICO? Germany has no regulation, so it's not that easy, but they have not prohibited ICOs, so that's why we went for Germany. There are other countries like Malta. They have recently introduced regulations for ICO, so there it's quite clear what kind of legal surroundings you have. And then there are some other countries where it's very hard to do an ICO, like the US or China. So when you have prepared all the things, you do the announcement, then you need an ICO website where you, again, tell all the facts about the ICO. Ideally, you have a pre-registration already collecting all the users that are interested in the ICO. You start with community marketing, and Telegram, what Christian mentioned, is one of the central elements for ICOs, because the size of the Telegram group is some kind of index how good an ICO is going. At some point, you then go to all the different meetups and events for blockchain around the world, especially Asia, because their blockchain is much bigger. You need a smart contract, so that is the technical side of it. So you need to prepare the technical side and have code releases and audits. And at some point then, you really, or in this phase, you already start with a private sale. So if you have bigger investors that are interested in the project, they can already start spending in the project and buying the tokens. And then you go into the public sale when the whole community can buy into the token. And for that, you need this token sale platform, so where the token sale actually takes place, where you get the money and give out the token. For that, you need to consider some legal surroundings. It's KYC and AML. KYC stands for Know Your Customer. So it's quite important that you really know who is investing into your ICO. AML is anti-money laundering, so there are some lists. You have to check your customers so that you don't launder some crime money. So you need to prepare this. You need to prepare how the users can actually pay, because the normal case in ICOs is that they pay with another cryptocurrency, which normally is Ether. But they should also be able to pay in euros or in US dollars, so you have to prepare this. Then you have the token sale marketing, where you directly target to the token sale platform. And you should prepare exchange listings so that the crowd already know that after the ICO has ended, that they will be able to exchange the token with other users so that they can sell it again. Yeah, this took us about 12 months to get from the very early preparation phase to the public sale. And then actually the fun starts, because then you have the post sales, and this is a bit like an IPO. So you have to give out regular reports what is going on, because if you are successful, you normally have about, let's say, 500,000 people who hold your token, and they want to know what is happening in the company. They want to see reports, they want to see the progress on the development, because most of these are technical projects. So you need to inform the community in an ongoing way, even after the ICO, so it never stops. So this is the strategy we had. We have our existing product, Football Stars. Fantasy sports is a growing market, so it's a very interesting product. We have this platform approach, which we have shown. So it's white label ready. We can use it for B2B business as well. We have the tokenization concept, which was shown in the video. An experience management team, that is quite important. And you have a group of advisors. Normally it's 10 to 20 advisors who cover different things. Then one major thing for us was a cooperation with the GBX. GBX is the Gibraltar Blockchain Exchange. They belong to the stock exchange in Gibraltar, and they try to set up a regulated environment for ICOs. So if you apply at GBX, you need to go through a whole due diligence from them, so that they can say to their customers, we have checked this company, it's not fraud, it's not a scam. They did their homeworks, they know what they do. This took us, I think 4 weeks to get through this due diligence process. And then the actual token sale was intended to take place on the GBX platform. So the whole thing you have seen here, this token sale platform with KYC, AML, and the different currencies, that should have been provided by GBX. And then on top of this, we had this gentleman, Luis Figo. The people who are into football should actually know him. He was the world footballer in 2003, I think, and it's still quite famous, so one of the best footballers of the recent years. He supported us. We got him in as a brand ambassador for our product. The funny thing is that was the first eye-catcher, because when you went somewhere on a roadshow, they said, you are the project with Luis Figo. So it worked quite well. So that was the communication strategy that we had in mind and that we wanted to execute. And in the beginning, it went really well. So our Telegram group, this index, we had about 30,000 people in our Telegram group, which is quite big. We had high activity in all the different channels. We had Facebook. We had different groups. Then you have a lot of rating sites which really take a look into the ICOs and rate them. And we had excellent ratings. We were one of the best rated ICOs at that time. For some of them, like Track ICO, we were in top position. So we got really good feedback from the community. Then the roadshow, you have many times you have pitch competitions where different companies tell about their project and what they are intending to do. We have won 3 of them. We had 3 conclusive wins in Malta, Stockholm, and Tel Aviv in this pitching competitions, and actually won some money with that. So often it's about prize money. So this went really well in the beginning. But then we had a few internal learnings in this phase. So one thing that was missing in our team was a CTO, because we have an external development team in Spain that is doing the game development, but we didn't have any blockchain developer. So that was something that is quite important to the community. And then we had some problems announcing the tokenomics because the market was changing so quickly that it was really hard to set the facts in stone, that you say, okay, what is our hard cap? Is it 20 million or is it less or is it more? So we were discussing this back and forth, and and also with our lead investor, it was quite hard to set these facts. And then actually the private sale didn't went that well because, again, you have a bonus structure normally for these private investors. If they have big amounts, they get like 20 to 30% of bonus. But we were not aggressive enough with this and didn't collect lots of money in the beginning, so we were waiting for the public sale to happen. Then we had the first major setback. Because at some point, GBX, this blockchain exchange, realized that they have a legal problem with BaFin. It's Bundesaufsicht für Finanzdienstleistungen, so it's the German agency for financial services. Because they actually, if they do our ICO, they actually need to have a license to do that in Germany, which they didn't have. So we had to cancel the partnership. This had a few effects. It was one of the major part of our communication strategy, and it was gone. The second thing is because it happened like 1 week before the public sale should have started, our token sale platform was gone because, it should have happened on GBX. So the result was we had to delay the ICO by 4 weeks and intended to start on June the 29th. So at that time, we had to reset the communication strategy. We had completed the token sale website just in time with an external partner. We were not able to run many campaigns at that time because we had to get the technical setup ready. And then the delay actually had a really, really bad effect because the market broke down in July. So we actually missed our good spot by 4 weeks. So in July, we had the third highest number of ICOs, but we had the lowest sum of raised dollars since August 2017, and the lowest average raised US dollar since April 2017. It was only 9.6 million US dollars in average. In June, it was still about more than 20 million per ICO. So because of this, the market really broke down step by step. The users were not investing anymore. And the effect was that we didn't reach our soft cap. So we had to cancel the ICO. I'm running out of time. I try to speed up. So what can you tell about ICOs? So the gold rush is over. It was really this 1 year where it was going wild. The legal situation is still not clear in many countries, and there's no established way of doing an ICO yet. But the underlying technology is very, very strong. And ICOs have many practical advantages compared to traditional funding because the tokens are movable. So if I invest as a VC into a company, it's quite hard to get the exit. With tokens, it's much easier to get the access done. So what will happen? There will be a regulated framework in the future. The crypto industry will get more mature, and then there will be a shift from a utility token like we had to a security token, which is more like a share. Actually, there will be a panel about this later on at 2, where we discuss the future of ICOs. So there will be more information about that. So for key takeaways. ICOs take a long time. I think our first idea was to start before Christmas, and 7 months later we were ready. It really takes long. You have so many moving parts that you have to try to get together. That is really hard. Then be transparent. One of the major mistakes we did was that we did not announce the tokenomics. It's better to announce the tokenomics and change them later on. If you say the market situation has changed, than not announcing this. So you have to be transparent about the process, what you do, and where you stand. Then probably the most important thing is you need to get good advisors. You will not have the knowledge in all the areas you need. You need technical advisors. In our case, we need sport industry advisors. We needed business advisors who have the connections to different investors and so on. This is one very important part, that you get good people in with good knowledge. And even if it costs a bit, it's worth it. Last takeaway, ICOs are expensive. You need to invest a lot into the marketing campaign, into the websites, into the roadshow, and so on. So actually what you should achieve when you do an ICO is that in the private pre-sale phase, you should already have covered the cost that the ICO will bring, because then it's easier to delay it and move it around than if you always have the pressure to get money in. In the ideal case, you already have reached the soft cap in the private sale phase. And actually, that's it. I had prepared 2 more slides about the future, but I think we have to skip them. Okay, good.